everybody. I hope this video finds you well. Today I want to talk a little bit about my personal prayer affirmation campaigns. I'm a rather mature practitioner in this art, and I am currently running a 3-4 campaign, 3 months on, 4 months off, and I am in month 3 of the 4-month wait period. And I can tell you, and I am telling you, and I will elaborate, that things are going splendidly. Some of my affirmations that I have put in there seemed rather hopeless or distant, and my affirmations moved them closer to realization, and now I'm beginning to see things as real possibilities. I don't really deal with a lot of really small stuff. I deal with big stuff. And I'm seeing this manifest. Some of the rather impossible things have manifested. Not when I mean impossible, I mean under normal circumstances you would not consider any of these things to ever be realized because they cost too much, or the political situation was a certain way, or the laws are a certain way, or this or that. And as I've been telling everybody, affirmation prayer campaigns are the way you control your reality, because we all live upon a world line vector that we control upon a template that we also can control. For those of you who have no clue as to what I'm talking about, basically, to understand our life, you have to understand that what you've been taught all your life is wrong. That all those people around you are not people. All those things around you are not things. All the things that are being told to you do not exist. You are consciousness. And being consciousness, you travel from frozen moment of time to frozen moment of time to frozen moment of time. And your consciousness registers this travel as time, a line of time. Each frozen moment of time is fixed, but to us who travels on it, it appears to be moving. Everything seems to be moving. Birds are singing outside, dogs walking around shitting again. So this is the reality, the actual reality. Now you control the navigation from world line to world line by your thoughts and your actions. Navigation is verbalization of your thoughts. It's simply not good enough to think of something. You have to verbalize it. You have to associate your thoughts with some action, some physical action. And I discussed that previously, but basically it works like this. Thoughts aren't tangible. You can't grab a thought and hold it there. You have to convert your thoughts into something that actuates or alters the physical reality that you sit in, and that's through action. So if you're thinking about pizza, there's a number of things you can do to actuate this thought. You can think about pizza and nothing happens, but you can think about pizza and say, I want pizza, in which case, over the next a period of time, you will really have an intense desire to want pizza, to eat pizza. Or you can say, I am eating pizza, in which case, over a period of time, you will be eating pizza. Or you can think that you want pizza, and then you can physically go and get pizza. Physical actions with thought cause the thoughts to manifest. This is an important thing to understand. Blows away all the Newtonian physics that you've been taught in school, because we're talking about quantum physics. And quantum physics, people, is how the world actually runs and how it works and how reality is set up. So the association of thoughts to physical changes is a quantum physics rule. It's a law. And there's a lot of physics behind it, and tests that prove this over and over and over again. I'm not going to get involved in that stuff. I'm more of an applications kind of guy. If you're into the theory, I have some books. The Intention Experiment by Talbert, I have it on the website. It's completely there, free for you to read or reread if you have read it. In case you need some probing or some validation because you're not seeing any results from your prayer affirmation campaigns. These affirmation campaigns are nothing more than vocalization of your desires, your navigation upon this worldline template. As you get older, you have many, many decades of these desires piling up, and your life becomes fixed. Because contrary to popular belief, every time you do a verbal affirmation, it's not a clean slate. It's not a clean slate. It's not a new clean blackboard. Instead, you're writing on top of an already written blackboard. Which is why some of you people out there in land, internet land, are having a hard time coming to grips with the idea that prayers or verbalized affirmations can affect your reality. And I'm here to tell you over and over again that yes, it does. It really does. Control your thoughts, control your world. And the most apparently impossible things can be realized if you control your thoughts. I was living with CJ. I wanted a blonde model, tall, or I wanted a gorgeous model. And sure shit, I'm living with CJ. No question, she was gorgeous. She was also a royal pain in the gosh darn fucking ass. Lovely girl. She had a side of her. Oh, God. Oh. Be careful what you wish for, okay? And also be clear on what you want. If you want to have sex with that person, then you say it. Let the rest of the world howl. But does it really have to be that person? Why don't you just say, I want sex with a person that looks and acts and feels like that kind of person that I know? Maybe you'll have sex with that person. Chances are you have a sex with a different person, and it will be very similar to that person. You have to leave your options as open as possible without narrowing them down, but at the same time being true to what you actually want. Now I'm using sex as as an example. It could be anything. Certainly, when I was younger, I was greatly desiring of sex all the time. But that's me being a man and being driven around by my pecker and my testosterone is just flowing through my body and coursing through it. Women have progesterone coursing through their body, the cuddle hormone. Women like to call this the biological clock a-ticking. Sometimes it gets ticking very, very loudly. And you have to be in tune with your biology. Men and women, you have to be in tune with how you actually are, and who cares what the other people think? Just be in touch with who you are and what you like, and then you verbalize it in your prayer affirmations. When you're doing your prayer affirmations, you're not talking to some God or some spirit. Though your guardian angel, your mantid, is certainly listening in on everything you're doing because they're entwined with you. You just communicate to them. But it's a way of navigating through this reality and be true to it. I know that a lot of the women in the Metallic Man audience really, really want to have healthy appearing skin and other attributes that they had when they were younger. And that's a good thing. had a number of the women, female, who have commented about the results of some of their affirmation campaigns where they wanted some clear and flexible skin like they had when they were 16. And sure as shit, their skin starts getting more fatty and more flexible, which is great. They also get some zits because for having your skin back like when you were 16, you also had zits that came with it. Surprised the living shit out of them, but that's how it works. For those of you who are new to practicing this kind of prayer affirmation campaigns, I suggest going easy. Stick with the basics, keep it broad. For you just starting out, there is this initial elephant you've got to crawl over. That's a bad analogy. Meaning that there's this big hump you have to crawl over. Because if you've never done prayer affirmations before, you haven't prayed for things before, you don't use a set methodology for obtaining your goals before, you have to overcome inertia. And so there's like this big pile of shit, this big elephant you have to cross over. And a lot of times that makes your affirmations difficult to manifest. But trust me, once you overcome this inertial moment, you will start seeing things manifest. In all campaigns, you should have immediate, long-term, and intermediate goals. Okay? The short-term things are something that you can obtain and helps your life in various ways, and that provides benefit for you in good, positive ways, but it's also something that gives you a little bit about immediate feedback. Simple things. Intermediate is lifestyle changes. Food, clothing, houses, job, everything. Long-term changes, long-term desires are something that are seemingly impossible, but you're starting to navigate your life towards those objectives. And in doing so, it will manifest, but it takes time. These long-term objectives that you have in your affirmation campaigns are important because over time, you get to be an old guy like me, you realize that some of the things, if I would have started 2 decades ago, I'd be living them out right now, because some of the things I wanted was really far out. Of course, everything's manifesting for me, because I guess I'm an expert at this stuff. And you also need to have 1 or 2 just completely far out stuff that you want, okay? I have to warn you that asking for what you want is always fraught with danger. So you have to be very, very careful on how these things manifest. So be very, 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 very careful on these far out things, because they can throw a monkey wrench into your plans and lifestyle sure as shit. So you got to be careful. You've got to be aware, and you just do things. I have always been an advocate for the basics. And when I mean the basics, I mean the absolute positive basics, which means, of course, that you are always eating good, fine, delicious food, that you are not worrying about money, that you are in a good, kind, and welcoming environment where you are respected and have a large circle of friends and family around you. These things are very, very important and should be all part of your affirmations. It doesn't matter if you already have them. They should always be in your affirmations, because if you've got something good in your life, neglecting it will cause it to slip away and be replaced with other desires. Do not expect the realities as portrayed in fictional media to manifest. Those are fictions. None of them are true. They're cardboard cutouts. So if you see a movie showing some kind of rich guy who's got it all and doing a great life, and you say, I want to have a life just like it's depicted there, you're going to be fraught with trouble, because that depiction does not come with the reality. Reality is many deep levels of flavor and textures. What you're only seeing is a two-dimensional depiction of something that doesn't exist. Never base your desires on something that never exists. Base your desires on an improvement of what you already have. If there's something bad in your life, navigate around it. For those of you who are, such as a guy from Africa, for those of you who are right up against the wall and moving towards a bad event, sometimes, guys, it's too late. No matter what we do in our affirmation campaigns, we cannot get around this big, massive iceberg that's coming towards us. But what we can do is mitigate the effects of it on our lives. So, in all means, stick to the basics. Have good control over what you're doing, and you'll be fine. Of course, there's a lot of misunderstandings. I'm not going to call them bullshit. There's a lot of very sincere people out there trying to help and doing all kinds of verbal affirmations in their own ways and techniques. And some of them I find are kind and gentle, but they don't know what they're talking about. While other ones are just giving some bad advice because they don't understand the mechanisms of how quantum physics works in the manifestation of reality. They understand and believe in prayer affirmations, but they don't understand how quantum physics work. While other ones understand quantum physics but don't associate the idea that you can start navigating through thought. So all this being told, please keep that in mind. Capisce, huh? As far as me, like I said, I am in my dwell period of time. The dwell period of time is the most important period of time in your affirmations. It's not when you're saying the affirmations. It's when you're not saying the affirmations. You're giving time for your soup to cook. If you can think of verbalizing your affirmations as food prep to make a soup, that's what's happening. You write your affirmations down, you compose them together, you plan out your affirmations, and then you verbalize them with gusto. You don't go, well, I want to. No, you say, I have a dog, I have a cat, I live in a nice, beautiful house, and it's sunny almost all the time around where I live. You don't go, say it with gusto. For some people, the only time of privacy they have without being ridiculed is in the shower. Well then, guys, that's when you do it, in the shower or in the car. Some people have taken a recording of them saying these things, and then they play the recording in their car, and they repeat what they said as they drive. So they say, I live in a nice house that's on a brook stream in the mountains, and they hear it and then they repeat it out loud in the car when nobody's around. There's different ways people use to do these affirmations. For me, some of my affirmations were very long-winded. I would be spending fucking 40 to 45 minutes reading these damn affirmations. That's too long. Okay? Your affirmations should be within a manageable time frame. Unless you normally take 45-minute showers and you can do it, that's okay. But just be careful how you handle these things. I will tell you that I have reports of mixed success in people's affirmations. Some people are saying nothing's happening, while others are saying, yeah, things are happening. And I'm going to reiterate some of the things that I have said before. The tendency for your affirmations to manifest is wholly functional on your fate forecasting. If you're in an unauspicious time, the manifestations have a hard time to manifest. That's because the physical gravity at that particular moment in time is not conducive to change. Gravity is like an inertial moment. It's like this big lead ball. It's a big lead ball. It's impossible to move, but once it's moved and it starts rolling, it's impossible to stop. That's gravity. And gravity, for us humans, is fixed depending upon when we entered birth. Jupiter, massive gravity target. Moon, massive gravity target. They're rotating. We're not changing that stuff. And that affects how your affirmations manifest. Now, affirmations always manifest, but the speed of the manifestation and how they manifest is affected by the gravity. And that can be observed through fate forecasting. And I really think the Chinese system of Ba Zi, B-A, Ba, which means 8, and Zi, Z-I, is the 8 pillars, the 8 systems. This mechanism, this methodology is very, very good to help you understand how likely the manifestation of your affirmations can occur. Whether they'll occur quick and easy or take longer and be harder to manifest is all a function of where you are in your fate forecasting. In general, a neutral fate forecast, where it's neutral, it's neither good neither bad, your fate forecasting or your affirmations will proceed along the guidelines, is what I say. Most things will happen. If you're doing prayer affirmation campaigns of 3 month on, 3 month off, you can expect manifestation in around 3 years of everything that's on there. That's for neutral. If you have a auspicious forecast, they'll happen sooner. A very auspicious forecast, they will happen sooner and in ways that will be surprising to you. Likewise, an inauspicious forecast will cause them to drag on and seemingly not really be manifesting. So you have to understand your fate forecasting. Affirmation campaigns with fate forecasting put together, performed rigorously and religiously, will cause things to manifest. And in my example that I use of CJ, be careful of what you want. Don't wait until you're sick to start adding affirmations wishing for good health. Having good health, being surrounded by loved ones, eating well, be free from worry should all be part of your affirmation campaigns. They're broad, they're general, and they describe a life of the basics. Do not take it for granted that those will always be there. You have to have them as part of your affirmation campaigns so that they manifest. It's very important, and it's a basic statement and law. Affirmations are personal and they're private. People who don't understand the purpose of praying or saying verbal affirmations will not understand you conducting this stuff, and they may think you're part of a cult because you pray. It is your way to navigate, and I describe that. But for other people to understand what you're doing, you simply say that it is your prayers that you pray to God for. That should quiet them down somewhat. If they find in your affirmation campaign, you can ask for anything and it will manifest. But it will always come with all these side or second tier influences that you may not be ready for. So always stick to the basics. Obviously, I have been having affirmation in regard to peace and China, because that's where I live. And you all can probably notice that China is pretty much isolated from all the craziness that's going on in the world. And that's, at least that's within my world line template. And if you're sharing my template, you'll be noticing that as well. I did not pray for the United States to change. I just affirmed that I'm protected wherever I am, irregardless to what happens outside of it. Stick to the basics. If you're finding yourself, whether you're old or young, and you're not at your ideal weight or your ideal lifestyle or anything that you consider to be ideal, what you want, then you change it. You verbally affirm what you want. But just remember that what you have right now is a full package that comes with other things that you may not be aware that they're associated with it. So by changing one thing, you change other things. So think positively and go forth with a good heart. The side of you, the mantid side of you, or the guardian angel side of you, whatever you may wish to refer to this to, is completely aware of everything you're doing. This affirmation verbalization can actually also be a period of time for you to communicate with that aspect of yourself for answers to questions. and assistance in speeding up some of these things, never be afraid to ask. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. So what harm does it do? And if people think that you're strange, apparently talking to yourself, let them say stuff. You'll be the one that's living the life that you like. All right. So some of the people in the audience that I communicate with regularly know that I eat very well. That I'm always drinking wine and eating well and living in a nice area and have a decent life. But that comes with trade-offs. And I'm here not out of random luck, but rather a concerted effort to define the kind of life I want. No, I did not say I will live in Zhuhai, China, and I will eat this kind of meal all the time. No, 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 no. I always specify in general. Try to avoid naming people, places, and things. Don't stop doing that unless it's absolutely crucial that you do so. And that's an important aspect of your prayer affirmation campaigns that you have to have. And one of the things that I asked for that really comes through in spades, years ago I asked for understandings. What's going on? Why is this going on? This strange object over in this location, what is it and why is it there? I wanted answers, and I started getting them. Don't discount your gut feelings. Answers will come to you through your gut, not through your head, through your gut. I know it's kind of weird because we're educated to use our mind and train our mind, to listen to our mind and not listen to our guts, but you need to trust your gut feelings. Women call this women's intuition, men call it gut feelings. It's the same thing. Trust your overall attractiveness, your attractiveness to a certain idea or concept as fundamental answer to your question, or something that's putting you on the road to that. It's true. Okay, it's true. So if you're going to ask questions, and you can ask all the questions you want in the world on your affirmations, go ahead. Okay? The answers will be tailored to you and tailored to your understandings. And that'll be really helpful to you. A lot of the readership or the videoship or the followers, you guys who are out there in the audience, you people, you're all concerned about the geopolitical stuff. Geopolitical stuff is it's fated. The United States is the largest economic nation on the planet, and it's going through changes, and that affects everybody. What you need to do is control your little part of it. Okay? Things will work out okay. If you have loved ones who are in trouble or distress and you're freaking out and you want immediate changes and you're asking for help, it's probably too late to do anything. But what you can do is mitigate the impact of those changes. Also, remember that your affirmations are for you and you alone, and not for all those around you, all those shadow folk and shadow people and everybody surrounding you. No matter how much you love them and everything, they have to have their own affirmation campaigns, not you. You can't solve the world. You can only handle your little part of it. So that's really important. These are critical things. Now, let's go back to me. Okay. Like I said, I'm on my third month, moving on to my fourth month of the dwell period. So it's 3 months on, 4 months dwell. The mere fact that I'm doing a 3-4 campaign tells you how serious I take this. I actually want to hurry up and start the campaign, but no, I gotta wait another month to do so. Like I said before, creating an affirmation campaign when you're verbalizing your affirmations is like cutting up celery, is like cutting up the chicken. It's like gathering the materials and putting them all in a big pot. If you do that all the time, all you have is a big pot with all kinds of stuff in it. You don't have a soup. The dwell period of time is where the soup is cooking. It's where the things are allowed to stew. The longer the soup cooks, the tastier it gets because the ingredients blend well. And for those of you who don't cook, trust me on this, you want a well-cooked soup that lasts a long time. I do want to tell you that the things are manifesting nicely. My affirmation, my fate forecasting at this period of time is on the slightly auspicious upswing. Not highly, but it's an auspicious period of time. So things are manifesting. Some of the problems that I thought couldn't be resolved are suddenly resolved. I didn't specifically say for them to be resolved. I just put the environment, described the environment, and that environment had to have those things resolved. So they're being resolved, and that's a really good thing for me. And likewise, you guys need to do it. Now, I know I have numerous people through these affirmations, they've discovered other sides of themselves. One follower has, or a couple followers actually, found the fairy side of their very being. This is whether it's true, it's in the United States, but fairies are a big part of the human politic, especially in the Emerald Isles. There is a connection there. I don't quite understand it. You can call it extraterrestrial, you can call it natural but unknown, or whatever it is. They're a big part of who you are, or where you're living. And some people, the connections are enormous. And in those cases, I really suggest and I want everybody to go ahead and never forget your fairy side. Never forget your attachment to these aspects that other people can't see, other people don't understand. Who cares about the other people? They're shadow people anyways. Don't worry about them. Don't worry about them. Worry about you. How you handle things. That's all important. You know? So that's what I want. Other people are really stressing out. Maybe they got a good job or things, but you know, there's some stress in their life. You got to be doing your affirmations. Calm down that stress. Don't go into the specifics how that's going to calm down. The more general and broad your affirmation is, the quicker these things will manifest. But if you specify things specifically to happen, it'll take longer. So the broader things are, the calmer they get. In all means, if you're under stress, whether it's family or job or real, and I'm talking to certain people here, you guys know who you are. Please, I care about you. I care about you guys. Control your reality, okay? Some of you guys are really good. You've written to me and everything. I understand this. I don't have real quick and easy answers, but what I do want is I want you guys to do really well. It's really important to me. So you have to do your affirmations to calm your life down. And it will calm down. It will calm down substantially. Maybe even shockingly so in ways that you were not expecting. Just go with the flow. Now, so you put out these affirmations and things start happening. Don't be freaking out because suddenly there's things that are changing around you. That's normal. Affirmations cause changes in your life. A lot of times they're uncomfortable. A lot of times they're scary. If you're doing affirmations and you're getting changes afterwards, your affirmations are working. It's not a bad thing. But, oh, Mr. MM, oh, Mr. MM, oh, Mr. MM, but, I was arrested and now my record is really bad. Change is what you asked for. This causes that, which causes that, which causes that, and soon your realities will be manifesting. Okay? Don't get too upset about this stuff, okay? Focus on health, happiness, friendships, security. You'll be okay. All other things I've talked about are still in play, right? Check out. Don't read a fate forecast and put it away. Check it every month or so just to see how you're doing. Pay particular attention to the advisements. Them's jewels in them there hills, guys. It seems kind of weird that you would put for a certain period of time, you would have your bed oriented this way or whatever. I think it's a little bit on the silly side, but I do it anyways. Thought manifestation, guys. It's all thought manifestation. Thought manifestation that is associated with physical actions generate change. Change is often uncomfortable, but when it happens, you'll be like, yes, it's all right. For me to go to China, I came with literally the clothes on my back. The suitcases I had were lost. They're in Newark somewhere. For 3 weeks or so, I was wearing one set of hospital scrubs till I could get things established. This is part of change. Some of you will find yourself moving and your beloved kitty cats will have to be left behind. You take care of them. If something happens to them, they'll pop up in another kitten near you. Cats are like that. Dogs, I'm not so sure. Dogs don't operate like that. Dogs are different. But I could understand cats, so that's the way that is. And for people, I'm going to let that be. I want you all to do well. Know where I am in my personal affirmation campaign. Know that I do it rigorously, even though I'm posting out copious quantities of videos and my articles and all this, plus my jobs and my family and all this. I also find time to do my affirmations. If I can do it, guys, you can too. And always remember the basic tenets of what I always talk about. Be part of a community, do your best. And at that, guys, I want to end up with my basic words of advice. Be good. Smile. Make a difference in the world that you live in. Be good to dogs, cats. Be helpful. Be the Rufus. Participate. Don't be a spectator. And when the situation calls, take action. And at that, guys, remember,